Yo guys, what is going on? My name is Vexolyte, but you can call me Nick. Today, I'm bringing you another game review to the channel. As you guys know, I've always been more of a multiplayer game my whole life, but lately, when I turned about 20, about to be 21, the appeal of multiplayer games has kind of worn off of me. Getting mad at Call of Duty isn't as fun as it used to be. So, in the decade I've been playing games just about, I'm going to go back and play all the single player games I've missed. You know, all the good ones I've missed, and write reviews about them because I like making content, and this is a good, fun way to do it. I love beating these games and then going straight to writing a review on Google Docs. As always, every review is going to be spoiler free, so if you're anything like me and you haven't played this game yet, you can watch this video and then go out and play it still and still not have the story spoiled for you. Today I'm going to be reviewing Undertale. Undertale is a 2D 8-bit style RPG choices matter, story-rich type video game. I know that's a bunch of genres thrown right at you from the beginning, but they all fit. The game originally released on September 15th of 2015, and I actually got around to playing this game at the very end of December of 2021, so about 6 years later I finally got around to playing it. The Steam page of this game describes it as it short and sweet says, Undertale, the RPG game where you don't have to destroy anyone. And that is an important fact to know. Undertale takes place in the Underground, a place where monsters have been banished to after losing the war with humans. You play as a human, a child to be specific, who falls into the Underground, and you are trying to navigate and get out of the world of bizarre monsters. Your first encounter is with a killer flower that immediately tries to take your soul. You are then saved by a nice monster lady, which I guess is a bit of an oxymoron, but she wants to take care of you and teach you a lesson that violence is bad and that you don't need to and you don't want to hurt anyone or anything in the Underground. And this is where the aspect of choices matter come into play. When I first saw this and read this in my first playthrough, I thought this was just kind of a metaphor or something. I didn't think it was literal, but no, it is literal. You can get through the whole game without having to kill anyone. I would say you don't have to hurt anyone, but there are a couple instances where I think you have to just once, but you don't have to finish anyone. You don't have to kill anyone, which is pretty unique and cool. This game actually has a lot of unique aspects in game mechanics and even story points. In fact, I don't really think there's one traditionally normal thing about this game, and that's a good thing. Like I said before, the battle mechanic and the fact that you can decide to kill everyone and everything, kill some people, or absolutely nothing at all is unique, and I think it ties in with the choices of this game pretty well. Another unique factor of this game is that resetting your game is actually a mechanic. It's an actual feature. When you play the story again for a second time, if you choose to, you don't have to, it actually references some things from your first play or the fact that you did play the game before. So the fact that that's a mechanic, I thought it was really pretty cool. And I did just compliment it. I did just say it was cool, but it did kind of dock a few points off of this game's final score that I want to give it, but I'll talk more about that later. There are tons of different endings to this game, but there's 3 main endings, I guess. I don't consider this a spoiler, but there's 3 types of endings. There's a neutral ending, a true pacifist ending, which is the canon actual ending, if you know what I mean, and the genocidal ending, where you just kill everyone and everything, and they all kind of tie in with each other. There's even alterations within the genocidal ending, I've heard, having slight variations between no mercy and genocidal. It was a little bit confusing with all the endings because I did a bunch of research about it for this video, but yeah. There's also different neutral endings because neutral being you choose to spare some, you choose to kill some. The end credit type thing of the game reads differently and drastically differently depending on who you spare and kill, so I thought that was cool too. One downside and my only complaint about the game is that not a lot is communicated with you, like these endings and the fact that resetting is a factor in this game. I had to look that up for myself, because I wasn't going to go and replay the game and get the same exact ending if I didn't know it was going to warrant me a different ending. So I recommended this game to one of my friends, and I actually described this to him and told him about it, which I wish the game does for you, so people that don't have someone describing the game to them, they can just hop in and understand all of this. My biggest complaint about this game, though, is that you can't get the canon true pacifist, actual desired ending without doing a neutral ending first. I don't really see why story-wise. I guess Undertale fans, if you're watching this, you can try to describe it to me in the comments below. But I don't understand why you can't get the canon, true ending, true pacifist ending on your first playthrough. There are big alterations in the story, so I guess it makes sense. But if I don't want to play the game twice, why should I have to get the true canon ending? I wish I could just do the true pacifist ending right off the beginning. I mean, I'm not upset that I had to play it twice because the ending was very, very different, and some of the characters did act and represent themselves very different, so I wasn't too upset. But it's just like, why does it have to be this way? It's not necessary, is what I'm trying to say. I like the fact that there are different endings, but I just wish I could get the true pacifist one right on the beginning, because I feel like there's a lot of people that would play this game, get like their neutral ending or whatever, and then not know that there's a really good canon, true pacifist ending at the end of it. You know, it's just, I feel like there's a lot of people that aren't aware of that, and it's worth getting, but it's kind of hidden almost. But I do enjoy the fact knowing that my actions truly do have consequences in this game, opposed to just the illusion of a consequence like in other games. Going back to the whole having to replay the game to get the true ending, you know, I got my neutral ending on my first run, spared some, saved some, like I suspect most people will, and then I immediately, like directly after that, I just went and played the game again, going for the true pacifist ending. And let me be honest, some parts kind of droned on, if that makes any sense. I rushed through most of the game, everything that stayed mostly familiar. I just like kind of like autopilot went right through it. But there were a lot of different things too, so I can't complain too much. Like the points, the destinations themselves were different, but the journey of getting to them were the exact same, if that makes sense. I'm just on the fence. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the fact that you have to replay the game to get the true canon ending. I'm on the fence because at the end of the day, I did enjoy the different alterations in the story, so I'm not too regretful that I had to play it twice. I'm on the fence. Me criticizing this game at all kind of scares me because I know this is like one of the most loved games of all time, so me talking bad about it just makes me feel like people are already writing their essays about how I'm an idiot for not enjoying it or something like that. But like I said with my Firewatch review, I try to be as critical on these games as I possibly can, so that higher scores like warrant, you know, a bigger incentive to go play. I don't want to be like IGN that gives every single game an 8 or a 7, you know. I want a 9 or even an 8 from me to mean a lot, because I do plan on doing a bunch of reviews. And I'm not even saying that because I'm going to give this like a low score, because honestly, I really, really loved this game. I really did. Even the fact that I had to play it twice, at the end, the payoff, the end reward was worth it. I was very satisfied, because when I got my first ending, I was like, really? This is the game? This is the game everyone's freaking out about? I don't get it. But then at the end of my second run with the proper canon ending, I was like, I get it now. I was honestly tearing up. You know, the story was emotional to me. I watched PewDiePie play it. I watched his reaction to the end. He teared up too, and that was a funny moment to see, because I love the story, and I was like, I get why people idolize this game, if that's the right word. Even the combat itself is unique and fun, which I'm sure you've all seen before. You're like the little red heart and you're just dodging attacks with the arrow keys. It feels kind of like a mini game that you'd play on like a flash game browser type thing or something like that, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was really fun and challenging, but not too challenging. I really enjoyed it. It was a unique approach on RPG combat, and I really liked it. As I said in the beginning, I try to keep these reviews as spoiler-free as possible, so without releasing too much information about the narrative or story of this game, I don't really have much left to talk about. This game is great. The characters are all quirky, unique, and lovable for their own reasons. The lesson of this game, depending on your ending, but I'm going to talk about the canon one, the true pacifist ending, nailed home the point of kindness, friendliness, just the importance of relationships, being forgiving, and most importantly, the recurring theme of determination is very powerful, and it touched close to home. It resonated with me well. So, is this game worth playing? Absolutely, yes. It's only $10, and on the Steam Winter Sale, it was $3. $3, $10. I'd pay $20 for this game. So even if you don't get it on sale, $10 is an absolutely great price, let alone $3 on a winter sale. It took me about 12 hours to get all my playthroughs in, just the 2 of them. So $10 or $3, depending if you get it on sale, for 12 hours of story is absolutely worth it. That's a great value. Like I vocalized in the beginning of this review, the only thing I warn about in this game is that you should know what you're getting into with the choices mattering and the replaying of the story and such, because I wish I knew that going into it. So if you're watching this and you haven't played it, I'm glad that I could explain all of that to you, because I was a bit confused at the end of my first playthrough. I had to Google a couple things, but obviously I figured it out. That's not a deal breaker at all, I just wanted to state that fact. Quick little note, I'm adding this in while I'm editing the video. I had to mention this since I forgot to in my original recording. This game has a phenomenal soundtrack. There are tons of great songs in this game. The soundtrack always matches the theme and the mood the game is going for at the time, and just overall very good, catchy music. Insanely good soundtrack on this game. I had to throw that in. I had to add that. So that brings us to the final score of this game. It's not going to get a 10 out of 10. Sorry, die-hard Undertale fans. But I'm actually going to give this game a 9.3 out of 10. With the complaint I just restated at the end with the confusion of replaying the game. And my only other complaint that I haven't mentioned in this game, or this review for this game, is that the Pokemon-esque random battle encounters at times feel pointless and just slow down gameplay. That's my only other complaint. I couldn't give it a 10 out of 10 with those 2 things mentioned, but a 9.3 is still insanely good for my rating system. 9s and 10s are really, really hard to get, and this game's ranked very high. So I think you should play it. It's on almost every platform now. If you haven't played it, take the information I just gave you about it, go in there, and it's about 12 hours for 2 playthroughs. You're gonna love it, I promise. So let me know, have you played Undertale? What did you think? Are you gonna play it? I think you should. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, if you made it this far, drop a like. Let's have a discussion about Undertale in the comments. Subscribe if you want more game reviews with notifications. You know how YouTube works. I'm not gonna talk your ear off. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.